Welcome to this explainer for the Foundry by Forge College. Today, we're rolling up our sleeves and designing a highly reliable, automated quality assurance assembly line for your Solana dApps. Look, let's just face it, if you're still manually clicking through transactions just to verify your code, you're probably losing your mind and maybe your hair too. So we're moving way beyond just writing code. We're stepping into the realm of building an automated, unstoppable testing machine that not only validates your designs, but produces rock-solid evidence that your applications actually work in the wild. Now, in our previous lesson, we spent a ton of time on proxy patterns. Remember that? That was our architectural blueprint, where we learned exactly how to upgrade smart contracts without losing any state. But having a brilliant blueprint is really only half the battle. Testing all those complex proxy upgrades by hand, yeah, that's a recipe for absolute chaos. We need an automated machine to validate those patterns continuously, which is going to save you from the sheer exhaustion and, frankly, the unreliability of manual testing. All right, here's today's engineering schematic. We're looking at 5 main stations. First up, the QA assembly line. Second, orchestrating the script. Third, we'll be taming flaky tests. Fourth, generating reliable artifacts. And finally, next stop, CI integration. So let's kick things off with section 1, the QA assembly line, in automating our validation. Before we actually build anything, we really need to know what this machine is supposed to output, right? In software engineering, an artifact isn't some ancient relic you dig up in the desert. It's the indisputable certificate of inspection printed out by your automated machine. When your tests run, you absolutely do not want just a bunch of text flying by on a terminal screen into the void. You want structured, machine-readable files. Think JUnit XML or structured logs, stuff that's ready for security auditors or continuous integration pipelines to read programmatically. And to get those reliable artifacts, every good machine needs a clean, organized workspace. Enter the validator ledger. This is basically an ephemeral, temporary directory where the local Solana test validator stores its state. By starting our validator in an isolated, fresh ledger directory for every single test run, we can guarantee reproducibility. There's no leftover state or ghost data from yesterday's failed test to mess up today's results. It's just a blank slate every single time. Moving right along to section 2, orchestrating the script with the run-tests.sh wrapper. You can think of this list right here as our engineering bill of materials. The run-tests.sh script orchestrates the entire lifecycle. Then Mocha.ops configures our test runner to format the output correctly. That artifacts directory? Well, that's our output bin where all the logs and XML files will safely land. And flaky-test.ts is a specialized file we'll use to validate our mitigation strategies. Organizing our files this way ensures that our data routes cleanly through the entire system. Now, these 4 mechanical stages represent the actual life cycle orchestrated by our script. First, we power up the engine by starting the Solana test validator in the background. Second, we unleash the robotic testing arms to run our Rust or TypeScript test suites. Third, we collect the exit codes and print the logs directly into our artifacts bin. And fourth, we safely power down the validator. It's really just a beautiful synchronized dance. But what happens if something goes catastrophically wrong mid-dance? Well, as you might have learned in other learning programs, you absolutely must build a safety valve. Our script uses a bash trap command, and this is totally crucial. It means that even if a test completely explodes and the process is interrupted, the trap catches the error, ensures the validator still shuts down cleanly, and meticulously saves our logs before exiting. So no abandoned background processes and 0 lost data. All right, into section 3, taming flaky tests, where we'll look at targeted failure fixes. So we've got a robust script, but now we have to address the ghost in the machine that haunts literally every developer, the dreaded flaky test. A flaky test is kind of like a toaster that works perfectly 99% of the time, but then occasionally, for no apparent reason, just shoots your bagel entirely across the room. It fails without any changes to the code, usually because of tiny timing issues or isolated state conflicts. But here's the thing. A flaky test isn't necessarily a broken machine. It's just a loose screw on the assembly line. It needs a targeted, highly specific fix, not a sledgehammer. So how exactly do we fix it? Well, the chaotic bad strategy is to blindly hit the restart button on the entire factory the second one thing fails. That just wastes time, compute resources, and honestly, your patience. The elegant engineering good strategy is all about precision. We parse the JUnit XML artifact we created earlier, pinpoint the exact name of the failure, and use a deterministic backoff to retry only that specific test case using Mocha's grep flag. It is a surgical strike against flakiness. Next up is Section 4, Generating Reliable Artifacts, which is all about the output of your pipeline. Let's walk over to the output bins at the end of our automated assembly line and inspect what we've actually produced. The absolute most crucial point here is format. We do not want a giant wall of unstructured text. We want JUnit XML. This is a standardized, highly structured format that records exactly which tests passed, which failed, and exactly how long they took. We configured our test reporter to convert all that messy console text into this neat XML package, which is universally understood by pretty much every automated system out there. But before you go popping the champagne to celebrate your brand new pipeline, run through this final 3-point checkpoint. Number 1, does your artifacts directory actually contain the log and XML files? Number 2, is the JUnit XML actually valid, like it needs to have proper test suite elements? And number 3, does the validator log contain deterministic seeds and clear timestamps? If you can confidently check all 3 boxes, your machine works and your artifacts are perfectly structured. Now, what if a test actually does fail? Well, our machine is smart enough to generate a structured JSON failure trace. You can think of this as an actionable breadcrumb trail. It captures the exit code, the exact name of the failing test, and a snippet of the validator log right from when the error happened. So when you come in the next morning, you don't have to guess what went wrong or blame gremlins. The breadcrumbs lead you straight back to that loose screw. Finally, we arrive at Section 5. Next stop, CI integration. Because let's be real, these carefully packaged artifacts aren't just going to sit on your local laptop forever. By keeping our ledger clean and our files completely structured, we've successfully implemented a core engineering principle known as separation of concerns. Your tests simply declare the behavior of your Solana dApp. The wrapper scripts orchestrate the execution, and the reporters serialize those outcomes into artifacts. Because these concerns are totally separated, absolutely no manual intervention is ever needed to evaluate the health of your application. Which leaves us with a final, somewhat provocative thought. Your tests might run flawlessly on your local machine, but what happens when an automated continuous integration server out in the cloud picks up these artifacts and reviews them independently? That is the true test of automation. We're going to tackle sending these exact artifacts to a CI pipeline in our next explainer. Until then, I highly encourage you to visit forge.college to dive deeper into this subject and explore our other incredible Web3 learning resources. Keep building, keep testing, and I'll see you in the next one.